Okay, everybody, losers bracket final, off we go. Washed up against Feel the Heat, another best of 3 series before we are heading into the best of 5 grand final of the day, where we already have one team waiting, but we still need to find out who their opponent is, and we are starting things off in our current match with Volskaya Foundry.
Absolutely, and we're starting off with, of course, Washed Up with the first pick, first ban, as the map was chosen by Feel the Heat. We're going to be ready to jump in. Will Zool make it through again? Because he has had a good day.
Yeah.
Him and Rhaegar, I believe, the only two 100% win rate heroes?
Yeah, I don't really think that Zul is going to let through, but I would expect that the same fate is also going to... Oh, actually, maybe not now. I was about to say, I think Rhaegar is going to be banned out and we're going to end up with Ana and Banana, but the exact opposite happens. Ana gets banned out, so even with Rhaegar being absolute S tier right now, they don't want Banana on Ana. And Medivh gets banned too, so we have a Medivh player on each side and they just eliminate him from the equation. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Makes sense, makes sense. Alrighty. Next ban, we still have Deathwing, but he's been in the ban phase, but he hasn't really seemed to have been considered as a pick so far. Garrosh, Zool's been left, so has Rhaegar.
I honestly think that they're not going to ban Deathwing out because I feel it was more so a Swamp Grotter thing than anything else. With the bans that we're seeing, I'm actually wondering if Hazu is going to try and get Hammer again.
Ooh, I would like that. That would be good. But Zool, he's back.
Yeah.
Zool less OP than Rhaegar. Who would have thought? That is incredible.
That sentence. If you would have told me like 1.5 years ago that I would utter that sentence or hear that sentence in the draft, I would have called you crazy.
Right when the time where America were like first running Zool as a main tank before he was actually...
Before he was good, yes. You could say they were ahead of their times, or that they just had no idea what they were doing. Like, both is applicable. And when Alex came in and ran the roaming Zool in his Storm League games.
I roll up for a Crucible and go, Khaldor, listen, what if I told you that in a year and a half, Zool would be more highly prioritized than Genji?
Yeah, Genji Mister, I'm involved in every single game and I'm still not getting nerfed at all.
That was a fun time.
Blizzard's balance team sitting there and they're just like, we can't figure it out. Like, we don't know which heroes to actually balance. We have an idea. Which hero should we focus on? Guys, we have a little bit of a suggestion. How about the guy that gets really used in every single game, either as a ban or a pick? No, that can't be it. But you know what we're gonna balance? That one guy that's never taken. That's the way how you do it.
What if, instead of nerfing Genji, we buffed Varian?
Exactly. Triple support bans, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Now they just have to pick 2 and limit the options even more.
Ooh, that's not actually a terrible idea. They have Junkrat. They could absolutely run Uther off lane here. It got nerfed, but it's still playable.
No, it's not. It wasn't playable before, and it's still not playable. You've been in North America too long, my friend.
I have. Alrighty.
The main tank in A Uther. Every single time I cast a division as North America. It was just like, yep, they're going full in A. Uther main tank.
Greymane and Deckard Kane coming in there. So they have removed 4 of the healers. So what are we going to see as the priority? Rhaegar's still available, and he was picked up. Sorry, not Rhaegar, sorry. Stukov is still available. He was in the last game. Was not victorious, but he was there.
I mean, Oriel has been played yesterday. Whiteman has been played in one game. You still could go Uther if you really wanted, but Stukov might be the option. Anduin. Yeah. Banana on Anduin. And yeah, so there we go. We still have enough supports. We are past the time where you could just ban out a couple of heroes in a row and then more or less force your opponent into one specific pick.
Bucharest, where you could ban where they've just banned out all the supports, picked the supports, and people were forced to pick Lili. That was a fun time. Oh, good. Lili. Oh, shit!
That, by the way, is this is an amazing skin. I like this one a lot, and Blade has played it a few times. So, yeah, with Blade going for Deathwing as the last pick, we're jumping into the map. Map number 1 in the best of 3. We have Volskaya Foundry, ladies and gentlemen. So let's jump straight in and see which team takes the lead here in the losers bracket final. Game on! We got Volskaya Foundry, we got Washed Up, and we got Feel the Heat. The stage is set. Hazorbs on the left side for Chromie, Banana H on Anduin, Nick on Thrall, still picking Echo of Elements, despite the fact that he's going up against Deathwing over here. Could have gone Trolling Thunder, seen it previously in the setup. Dequaza is playing Blaze for the team, and Masquerade is on Azul. Whereas towards the right side of the map, we Feel the Heat with Dino and Junkrat, Blade on Deathwing, Wit on Johanna, Ultralisk on Greymane, and X-Ray is in the high-risk group with Deckard Cain.
I'm actually a little tilted that the one game Deathwing's in is the one game we don't see Rolling Thunder. I feel thoroughly trolled.
I mean, Echo of Elements is still great for the poke and everything. It's seen most of the time, but yesterday we had some adjustments when Deathwing made it through, and a lot of the other percentage-based heroes were actually banned out. And it's kind of nice on level 1 for Thrall to have options these days. I mean, you could even have gone, in this case, for Trash Lightning.
Very true. Could have tried to make the most of the objective and just really poke Deathwing from a distance. Could have been effective. For now, Blade moving into the solo lane. 18 seconds till the support camp, but of course turrets will likely be the first priority for the teams. But Wave Clip, very effective for the start, and there could, if he had gone Scroll of Identify, he would have got quite a few stacks there, but in this case, just damage.
Yeah, bot lane, Zul is going to play it out against Blade, who runs in a circle with Deathwing. Showcasing his skin, this is like, oh, look pretty.
Give you all the angles, catwalk, striker pose. Clears the lane. Also, can I just say, Deathwing on a conveyor belt is one of my favorite things in this game because of how stupid it looks.
Honestly, this skin is really solid. I like it a lot. I really do. Yeah. So it's a fun one. It's much better than the chicken.
I mean, on the conveyor belt, it just reminds me of, like, those conveyor belt therapy things you get for, like, cats and dogs who've gained too much weight. Like the hydrotherapy thing. That's what it reminds me of.
Sounds like a hamster wheel.
A little bit, yeah. It's just for fat cats. As the courtesy Masquerade. Clearing out the lane.
Hamster wheel for fat cats. I haven't actually heard anything about that yet.
What is it? It's just like a conveyor belt in water, so they put less weight. It's for like
wait, what?
Weight loss and
How do you get the cat into the water?
You just put it in.
A cat
it was
into
like
water?
It was
what
like
are we
5
talking about
pounds. What's it gonna do?
What are you people doing with their cats?
It's for like physiotherapy and stuff like that. For like animals that have like injured legs.
Okay, like this is getting wild. Honestly, you've been in North America too long. I already like get quite the aneurysm whenever I see one of these baby strollers with the dog inside. I'm just like, what the fuck are you people doing over there? And the dog is just sitting pretty. Ideally, has a sweater on too, and it's like, you guys do understand it's an animal, right?
It's physiotherapy. It's helping pets.
Bullshit! Not when it's not injured.
Oh, okay, I will agree. For weight loss, it's probably shit.
Dude, I lived in California. You would be surprised how many people over there get a dog like one of those pocket chihuahuas as a baby replacement and then carry it around in the stroller. You would be shocked.
Yeah.
I get it for the physiotherapy. I get that if the dog is actually injured, but believe me, it's a very different picture. Also, by the way, I think we have a Heroes game going on.
Oh yeah. Okay. We're gonna be seeing Reaper's Toll coming in for the Zul. We are finally seeing that Q-based Jailer's build where he's gonna be making the most of that healing reduction at level 20 if they get there. And we're gonna be seeing at the middle point though, for now, gonna be held by Feel the Heat.
Yeah, for now, 20% against 17. There's also Ancestral Wrath, level 7 talents in for both of the boys. And Deathwings, they're running in circles. Hasn't really changed. Chasing his own tail here.
Just being a Carbot Deathwing at the moment. We're gonna back up, playing it safe, but holding the point for the moment up to 57%. Deathwing making his way in. He's gone slightly off build with Infernus. That extra damage at high energy on his Molten Breath.
Yep, so for now also, when we're looking towards the talents, we have the Wall of Bones again on level 7. Seen that a couple of times, especially at the beginning. Here's 99%, and Deathwing with the engage, flying in immediately, trying to chase the opponent off, and that looks like a Protector. Quasar gets blocked, make his way in again for just a second, but has to jump out as he was about to get dropped. And off we go. Protector number 1 on the map.
Great leap of faith by Banana Rage to save Blaze and make sure he will be part of this defense. Like I said, first Protector going over to feel the heat as they're going to begin to push in aggressively. Already taking out one of the towers as Deathwing, making the most of that long range he has with that Molten Breath, which begins to make that level 4 make a lot more sense in the current patch. They're able to siege down the towers from range.
Oh, I gotta ask you something,
Okay.
Okay, I only know the German name, but like, do you have the comic where like you have an elephant that can talk, Benjamin something? Does that exist in the UK?
Maybe. I can't remember it.
Benjamin Blümchen. Because it's actually amazing. In Germany, the guy makes Töre as a sound. They have it in Spain too, but in Spain he says Turu. So there is apparently a language difference between an elephant in Germany and an elephant in Spain. And I need to know what sound the English version makes.
I don't know. I'm sure chat can help us out with that while we're casting. I do know that like animals make different sounds in terms of like how they're phonetically read in languages. Like in English, a cat's meow is meow. In Japanese, it's meow.
That's a very picky cat.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
I mean, aren't all cats? As we see Blade cleaning out the lane for now. Little gang set up in case it all rotates. No such luck. They nearly got Hasselhoffs, but he's able to scoot away.
Okay.
Do you mean Dumbo?
No! Not Dumbo. You're
Chat
Dumbo.
says Dumbo.
Oh, the engage! That's done! And Ultralisk!
Ultralisk! Fire!
Oh, he gets barbecued. Gets barbecued quickly. The fight isn't over by any means. Holy hell, they really are committing to this one. There is the jump, the falling sword, and she's setting everything up. Amazing, I love this. The kill against Anduin. The Crybaby is down and Blaze falls too.
Blade and Witch trying to move in. They have no health, but they're still going to try and fight Nick. Nick's on the run. Riptide chases down Zul. Dynau's back. And they're still fighting over what is not technically an objective right now, as Hasu will be able to escape, take some damage, but will get out of there. But that is a convincingly won fight for Feel the Heat.
It was actually it was fantastic. I mean, it was a bigger fight over the not active checkpoint than when the thing actually was about to spawn a Protector.
Turret stolen. He might have to drop it. No, good concussion mine by Dynau allows Ray to get out of danger there. We see the disengage. Falling sword gonna be dropped into the mid lane. They want Hasu, and finally they get him.
They are crushing Chromie right now. Without, in this case, I mean, the cooldown was apparently not in. Couldn't really drop the timeout, so as long as he doesn't have that, she's gonna have a lot of trouble in this game.
Ultralisk blasts through. Another turret going to be picked up here. This will be a double turret play. Junkrat also able to scoot away from the gank attempt in top lane as Blade is massively pressuring the spot lane.
13 against 12 now. Bot lane pressure, as you said, is in. Nick is trying to get some damage in. Guys, a lot of work actually against Deathwing here. But still, now that we're moving topside again, we have also an isolation attempt against Quasar. And with a lockdown here, they could actually get the kill. The habits are ready, but that's not enough to get him out of the spot. So another kill for Feel the Heat. 6 kills against 1 now.
Blade continuing just to grab all the experience for his team. He is doing so much work for his team, even if he's not in the team fights. The XP gain he is giving them is so insane. He now has Wicked Flame, even more damage in these team fights, and trying to prevent anyone defending against his pushes. Echoes of Death getting ready for that mortal wound for Zul. Everything's looking good if they can live to level 20, which is the issue.
Yeah, down here, again, the play for Greymane. Ultralisk gets out, Falling Sword connects with 2, but he moves out. Falling Sword is just incredibly fun, honestly. The setup that you get with Blessed Shield is, of course, fantastic, and more often than not, it is the better pick. But Falling Sword is fun, especially when you get to level 20 and you get the cooldown reduction. Just jumping around like a bunny with Johanna is an incredible funny thing to do.
Absolutely, it's so strong as well. Just having it, like you said, just on cooldown, it is absolutely terrifying.
Here comes the second protector, so they won 2 in a row now. And it will become a bit tricky now, because that's 2 forts down. I'm always assuming that they're going towards the mid lane now to take the second one.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to take a lot of damage on the way, which is less than ideal, but in the meantime, while the protector is being focused, Blade and Dai now are just pushing. They're just winning structures at this point, just getting even more value across the map, grabbing the towers. Protector's getting a little bit zoned, but the reaction has been forced bot lane, and that's already a victory for Feel the Heat, forcing that reaction so the Protector can blast through this mid lane.
Yep, and over here we currently have the next drop against the fort as expected, so this one falls. We just need to make sure that they're all getting out of this one. 16 talents are also in their hands. I mean, again, the situation that we see in game number 1 for Feel the Heat is absolutely stellar. They're looking great here. They have their level 16 talents in, they destroyed 2 of the forts already, they have very solid control on items on top of that. And the fight seems to be breaking out once more over the middle point. Nice lockdown against the old man, and he's down. First victim in the fight.
Falling Sword onto the backline, just misses Bernardo Rage, and as such he'll be able to get out, but Hasselhoff still being pressured. Riptide going to come in for the counter fight, does good damage as Deathwing is killed off by Zul. We see Ultralisk chasing in Dayquaza with Dino leaping over the side. That's going to be an easy pickup, and they're going to take their own turret.
Yeah, 2 kills against 2 kills, so despite the fact that there was a talent advantage on the other side, Washed Up doing pretty okay for themselves here. Another item gets now taken. Both teams are going for their next turret. Left side, right side, already exchanged. 16 talents are also in for the blue team now. So they're getting there. Next objective is, of course, going to spawn at the bottom of the map. And this is going to be one of the important ones. You need to make sure that in an ideal world to destroy that tower over here if you want to keep the advantage. And here's also our next pick. We have, again, the focus into the Spectral Scythe with a Decrepify pick on 16.
Those extra slows. You can combo that pretty well with the Skeletal Mages, but we're not seeing that in this case. Just using the Scythe and the Skeletal Warriors. They have enough slows alone without the extra mages, and of course it's going to be all about Mortal Wound later on, which is where the real value is going to be coming in. And a win with the AoE healing, picking up Holy Nova to continue his Divine Star build. As Blade, easy stun for a disengage.
In the meantime, we also saw the counter against the Temporal Loop with the quick ult on Johanna, jumping out from it. But that gave enough, more than enough time, in fact, for Feel the Heat to rotate bot side with the rest of the heroes, take the fountain down, also drop the fort to 50%, and they rotated up to the top again in an attempt to get another healing beacon. They honestly just need to keep someone here that can actually take that thing, because X-Ray is the only one out of the 3 that doesn't have an item yet, so he gets that. They steal even the camp away. I mean, is it Christmas already, or what's going on here? They get literally everything. They get the camp, they get the healing beacon. It's a Walmart 2-for-1 sale, apparently.
They don't get the Zul, though. Quick escape coming in here from Masquerade, who will survive. Also, apparently, Benjamin is Teru in English. There you go. Thanks, chat.
Awesome. I like it.
Thank you, Biblio.
It's so funny to me that you have different, actually different phonetics and different English for a made-up comic animal.
It's very strange, but it's kind of cool. Language is just interesting in general.
It's just,
we do see Wit back it up.
Deathwing reminds me all the way of that, because when he does his Molten Flame, he pretty much goes for the same thing, and he just leaks that. Like, I don't even know why. I know it makes no sense, but every single time he does it, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, just watch it the next time and think about it for a second.
Is that what you say when you die to turrets as well? Turret!
No, it's when I start insulting people. Tourettes.
We're going to see Blade back it up. He's already getting wave clears. Ray is having some fun interactive gameplay here. Setting up just some potions just in case.
Oh, God. Glorious game. Good.
How many healing pulses do they have? Do they have 2 or 3?
I think they have 2 now.
Oh, they
Actually,
have
no,
3.
they have 3. They have 3. X-Ray has 1 as well.
Oh my.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
It's insane. They've been dominating here. I mean, they play a great game, let's be honest. This is an 8 kills against 3, 20 against 18. That's a solid lead that you have. The fort's taken down. It's pretty impressive what Feel the Heat is pulling off in this first map.
They are looking very, very strong. They want to make it into that grand final. With Storm tier talents available, like you said, we do have that upgraded Falling Sword. I am excited. And the upgraded Riptire for full cooldown reduction. Only a full level away, basically, for Washed Up. Here comes the Falling Sword. Great timeout. Hasu is out.
Yeah, and gets the cooldown reduction. Okay. Deathwing comes in, and they should get a keep here. With everything that they have, with the entire setup and the advantage with the level 20 talent, if that's not a keep, then they're doing it wrong somehow. Riptire already, there is the jump of Johanna, gets a bit of a cooldown reduction, and the keep is already taking damage and suffering.
This keep will 100% go down. They've dropped 1 healing pulse. They still have 2 more. They're going to make their way in. Another Falling Sword coming in. Going to try and get up to throw. Quick pull away from Banana H. Nick will survive. They're maybe looking to end the game. Rocket Punch hits the Protector, does now. 2 turrets have been dropped. They're kind of zoned into this corner area here. Blaze comes in with the light bomb. He gets the bunker. As we're going to see Greymane, the first to fall, Riptire, is going to absolutely destroy Zul, though.
Zul is down. Here comes the Earthquake. Still no level 20 talent for Washed Up. But the red team is starting to retreat slowly, taking the fountain down on the way back, moving past it. 9 kills against 21. Still the talent advantage for the red team, but not for much longer, as the experience at the top lane gathered by Hazorb should give them the Storm talents too. They lost the keep, but what about the items? Another healing beacon up for grabs, and Feel the Heat rotates over immediately.
They burnt the... They didn't finish off the core. The attempt there was to try and end, even though it was a 5v5 before level 20 was hit. Unsuccessful to do so, but like you said, they still got the keep and they traded the kill for a kill. Not the worst scenario possible. They still have that open core now for if they're able to win another objective.
Yeah, also damage output. Looking over to particularly Greymane, 42,000. Chromie is at 51k. When you take a look at Johanna, she's at 31,000 actually. So that puts her into the 3rd damage spot for the team. Might get a little bit more of the utility now with the level 20 cooldown upgrade. That's going to be quite spicy. And off we go with another potential item for Feel the Heat.
They got the turret, Riptire for disengage, and I was very wrong about a turret. We don't see the mortal wound. It is Andriel's Visage. 50% of the damage from Poison Nova is healing now for Zul. Masquerade trying to keep himself alive in these fights. And of course, that extra poison duration, 50% more.
Yeah, topside round. The amount of items in their hands is just awesome from their perspective. They hold 3 now. They have very good control over every single item that spawns. And items are key if you want to win the objective. And once that the 4th one spawns on the map, there's a very good chance that Feel the Heat gets just another Protector. And if they do, that would be a big problem for the blue team.
Gonna zone away, Feel the Heat taking their time. They know they're in the best position right now. The map is theirs. As long as they don't botch this, as long as they win a team fight over the objective, they're going to be in a great position to end the game here. So just clearing, Wit being an asshole because he can. He has so many ways to leave if he needs to.
He's full on in their face, but there's nothing that he can do to really shut him down. He can just jump out, and the cooldown is so short that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he can get out with his own armor. It's fanaticism as well for extra movement speed. He has the Falling Sword. It's basically impossible to kill him outside of a team fight where you get the drop on him. But he is burning cooldowns, so they still have to try each time, basically. But they have to do it without burning their own cooldowns, which is the hard part.
Yeah, and obviously it provides vision too. I mean, that's another aspect of it. He can really be in the opponent's face, control them a little bit, provide vision. Jumps in again. They go immediately for Blaze, and Nequaza, he loses a lot here. You might have to bunker it up, and that's exactly what he does. Blade is dropping in from the skies as they're trying to fight for another Protector. Items already encountered, and Riptire is on the way.
The bunker to deny the leap of faith here, meaning that is not available. It does go on the full cooldown, but they turn it. They kill off Johanna here. Here comes the Poison Nova. You can see the healing on Zul. Look how much he's sustaining from that level 20. Here comes Deathwing, though. He's going for the fear. He catches one person, but they're trying to turn this onto Greymane. Root just misses Blaze as Daquaz is able to back up. Now has disengaged. And that is a one fight for Washed Up. They take the 1-for-0. In the meantime, though, the core is having its own fight that it is losing.
Yeah, and the problem is that Deathwing, he could even jump there, but Zul is there for the defense, so it's another 4 versus 4 here in the middle of the map, and Deathwing is likely going to try and contribute to it. Jojo is down for another 29 seconds. But I gotta admit, I was really impressed by Washed Up's abilities to stay alive. Even after they killed Johanna, it looked for quite some time as if they would lose multiple heroes there. They were still able to keep everybody in play, top them up at the fountain in the middle, and now re-engage. Riptide comes back in, but the item is again won by Feel the Heat.
Another Healing Pulse Ultralisk picking this one up. Thrall, though, gonna scout this rotation. Does a little bit of damage to Deathwing. Not too much though. Just backs it up, plays it safe.
Jojo's back. Jojo is back in.
Cooldown already back up as well. It was on 30 when she died, so the death timers at this stage. Easily able to set that up. Zul's going to avoid the fight for that little bit longer. He's going to go and clear up 2 more catapults. Meaning his team has to be careful because he's now shown, so the opportunity to engage is now for Feel the Heat.
Yeah, they took the item, they took the extra turret at the bottom right, and now they can make the play again. So they have 2 items against the one that's being held by Washed Up, and another chance to go for the fight. Here comes their jump. Hazu Ops in trouble. They're trying to turn it against Johanna, but so far unsuccessfully, and they go for a Thrall, and he just explodes as the Riptide blows up in his face.
Very bad news. Blaze with the turnaround, though. He's going for the live bomb, trying to just win against Ultras to pick up a kill. As Hasselhoff's going to try and turn it to Blade. The double man fear with the falling sword onto Masquerade. But he's able to tank through very quickly with his bone armor. But Hannah, though, Iron Skin with Fanaticism is already out. Blade is low and he's used Fly. He will not be able to take back to the sky for a while. No, I stand corrected. It's back up because he dropped a... he got a multi-man meteor hit onto Chromie, onto Hassel.
Defense at the bottom of the map is the next setup for them as they are trying to stay alive long enough with 22 minutes into this game. 5 kills against 10. Big lead now for Feel the Heat as they are looking for the next protector. And this one is so late in the game. They should be able to end with it. And they are going to definitely look for the victory here. So at this point, Feel the Heat, it looks like they finally made it happen. Like they finally are ahead enough so that they can go down to the bottom, move through the bot lane, and take that core apart. Deathwing is even sitting topside, trying to make sure that there's some additional damage against the top keep and wall while they are preparing for the play, with Johanna jumping in again through the ult.
This is one of the longest games we've had so far, and it's only game number 1 of this lower bracket final. They're going to begin to try and make their way in. Blade was chased by some skeletons on the way in here, but he is here to join the team. As like you said, they're going to try and go for the core. The Punisher, the Protector, sorry, already losing half its health here. Rocket Punch is used. Hasu escapes Johanna, but the core is taking damage. Blade is at full health, but Junkrat is deleted here.
Junkrat down, the core on 40, and it looks like they can finally pull this one off after all. 30, 20, 10, and it is over. Feel the Heat with a victory in game number 1 against Washed Up here in the loser bracket final. GG. And well played. Alright everybody, game number 2, let's bring it. Infernal Shrines is the map, and Feel the Heat did a fantastic job on Volskaya Foundry, controlling Washed Up here. A couple of unorthodox strategy elements in this one as well, especially around Johanna, who religiously jumped onto Chromie to try and bait out that cooldown of level 13 and really just put pressure on. So they did a great job there controlling the map, and they have the lead in this best of 3 series. Loser bracket heads into Infernal Shrines or the loser bracket final heads into Infernal Shrines as our second map. And now the question, can Washed Up fight back, yes or no, on a map? But we might even see Kerrigan coming back for Nick.
We could see Kerrigan, we could see Sergeant Hammer. Washed Up have a lot of sleeper picks on this map. So let's see where they start with their bans. Yep, it's Zool. Zool is going to get removed here.
It's a weird one, because especially against Washed Up, you want to ban so many heroes now. You want to ban Sergeant Hammer against Hazo Ops. You still want to ban Ana's Banana, which they now did. There's the question if you ban Rhaegar or no. You have to think about banning Kerrigan against Nick. And of course, there's also other meta bans that you have to consider. So it's going to be one of those... It's actually kind of funny to watch the reaction of people to drafts. And it's always, you know, this like... How did this hero make it through? And it's like, well, because there's like 6 heroes that you want to ban, and you only can ban 2. And then the third one, of course, delayed, but by then they might already have made the pick, so it's always a bit strange.
What you're saying is we should run a tournament with 10 bans per team.
No. If anything, I'm running another Meta Madness where we have more bans than that and going to go full on wild with it, but yeah. But there's the Medivh ban again, so with both teams having a Medivh player, both of them are not willing to give that up. But just look what's up. You can still play Hammer, you can still play the Kerrigan if you want her. We have so many choices right now that are normally targeted early on in the first ban phase. And after the last game, where we had such a focus on supports, they're actually picking Malfurion very quickly and just saying like, all right, guys, if you play the same game again with with the supports, then we're going to pick ours first.
Not making the same mistake, but there's still some quite high priority heroes that could be picked up here. But they don't have to worry about that Bloodlust. They go for Deckard Cain and Johanna again.
Johanna makes perfect sense here, of course. She's too good on this map. As also on Tomb and Spider Queen, but Deckard Cain, that pick early on makes a whole lot of sense right now too, because if you don't pick him now, then he will be banned, and they don't want that to happen. Both supports, therefore, good control, good utility over any shrine fight, can control the choke points a little bit heading into it. Yeah, and now the big question. There it is, Kerrigan, called it. Oh
yeah. Kerrigan sneaks away in with Leoric. They now have so much shrine control just with those two alone. Also, to Salunks, would a cup be possible where every hero banned is banned for the rest of the cup? Khaldor already did it.
Yeah, multiple times. And then it's called Meta Madness, and another one is in planning. But again, planning is not actually concrete. Last year there was supposed to be another one too, and that fell through just a couple of days before the announcement. So. Not holding my breath, we'll see, but I'm working on it, so we might get another one. We had some fun ones, but for people that have actually not seen Meta Madness yet, I highly recommend that you go to YouTube and you look for Meta Madness and Khaldor, and you're going to have a lot of fun with those games. As we're having fun with these games now, where we have the ban against Junkrat, and with the Kerrigan combo, the focus on the Tyrael ban, so that she can't simply rip the opponent's team apart with the Sanctification to keep her safe.
Tyrael was very focused in our first couple games and then sort of was ignored a bit. Oh, snap the steal! Hammer is stolen away here by Ultralisk.
Yeah, and of course, who steals the hammer? Who steals the Panzer? Another German.
The Zerg is playing the Terran.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, Hazo, I would have loved to see Hazo's face when that happened. He's like, wait a second, what? Just took my hero. So he's going for Greymane, and we have a Nubara again.
That's a lot of burst. That is a lot of burst from Washed Up right now. How do we deal with that? From Feel the Heat, need another ranged. Is there anyone else who could do some disengage? There's Falstad, but he's a little squishy. But he could give them the disengage they need.
Do you know what's missing? On the red team side, a reliable cleanse.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I mean, you have a few tools granted. You have the siege tactics and you have Johanna's Iron Skin, so it's not like they're completely helpless. But that could be dangerous. And Dino on Zeratul. After we've seen previously Ty showing off his Zeratul skills, now Dino gets a chance too. Game number 2 on Infernal Shrines, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make it happen. Washed Up against Feel the Heat in the Losers Bracket final. Game number 2 might be the last map actually in this best of 3 series, but if the earlier matches in this tournament have been any indication, we're going the full distance again, and I wouldn't mind because games today have been great here at the Don't Panic Birthday Cup. On the left side, Nick on Kerrigan for Washed Up, Banana H on Malfurion, Hazo Ops on Greymane, Dequaza on Leo, and Masquerade on Nubarak. To the right side of the map, X-Ray on Deckard Cain, Ultralisk on Sergeant Hammer, stealing Hazo Ops 0 away, Dino on Zeratul, Wit on Johanna, and Blade on Sonya.
We're going to be seeing the level 1 talents hold your ground once again. Standard advanced artillery on this map, so much higher priority than ambush or anything like that, just due to the incredible shrine clear speed. Wit is forced to disengage a little bit as he is scouted because, well, Hasu is still scary on that Great Main.
Yeah, for now, we actually have everybody moving down to the bottom of the map for at least a bit of power push with Ultralisk. The thing is that with Sergeant Hammer, we oftentimes see the Hammer team being a little bit more laid back and relaxed until they have level 7 in the Harvest Siege mode. Before that, a lot of these teams are actually willing to let even a Punisher slide and simply try and go for counter value somewhere else on the map, trying to take a few of the structures down. So Hammer is going to play pretty much alone up to the point where we have more value in team fights through the ability to reposition.
Wit trying to interrupt those rotations as much as possible, slow it down, give Hammer that extra time to push the lane and try and deny some of that experience. Ultralisk not able to clear in time, but he is able to back up as he knew exactly when the rotation was coming, thanks to the interruption of Johanna.
And they have to really use all of those talents that gives them a little bit of unstoppable. It's gonna be tricky. I mean, you have cooldowns, of course, that you have to work around with. If you use siege tactics, if you use your Iron Skin, there's so many CCs on the other side that once you actually utilize them, you will be in a really tough spot when the next attack is coming your way. And we can expect a lot of this. I mean, you have Roots on Malfurion, the combo on Carrigan, slows from Leo, and on top of that, of course, Anubarak himself with added stuns and later the Cocoon. There is a lot they need to try and dodge out on.
Anubarak making the most of that armor to just tank every single mine that Hammer put in that bush and picks it up, denies the vision, and that will allow Hasuobs to clean up this mercenary camp very, very quickly. As we mentioned before, we're at level 4 now. We will likely see siege tactics for Hammer, but is going to have to type it very well. Ever since the unstoppable continuing over for the full duration, even if you unsiege, was removed, Hammer is still a little bit riskier in those scenarios. But he is holding, but it's very likely he's going siege tactics, but we could see something else. Nope, there it is.
yeah, you gotta go for it. So siege tactics is in. Camps are now taken. Anubarak sniffs it out, but of course he's not suicidal enough to actually commit Sudoku and jump in here. 5.5, and the first shrine about to activate, but we're coming back to the same point I made earlier. Sergeant Hammer needs to be careful until she has the level 7.
Absolutely. Cleaning that up as best they can. Blade and Die now just have such insane wave clear between them when it comes to the lanes, but they're against the Yorick. Doesn't matter how quickly they clean it, he can just hold the lane sustained easily.
Yeah, off comes the attack, so with this, jumps come in, and the blue team currently has the position. It's interesting because the red team is really not trying to find value somewhere else on the map. So Ultralisk is absolutely okay of just sitting here and playing with the range that he has, especially now that we're having Zeratul still topside. They are already able to zone them out a bit. The camp has been taken apart by Dino, so top lane is getting to pressure against Washed Up's tower setup. And yeah, there's a bit of timer, so it's actually not really a bad situation that Feel the Heat finds themselves in.
Classic Storm League comms probably happening here. Find it by range, says Ultralisk. But they are still losing. The incredible clear speed that Nick, Dequaza and Hasselhoff's offer is allowing them to try and secure this 36-29. Without Ultralisk on sieges, they give up on the objective. First objective goes over to Washed Up. And Dequaza is going to be forced up here as he did lose some towers to the Fallen Shamans, but he will be able to clean up the rest of the lane, especially with Neiled Peasants, without too much more trouble.
Yeah, the question is to simply can the... Malfurion! Birdman flying not quite like an eagle, but he flew. That ragdoll got manhandled, and now that the wall is open, it seems like that's all that they're gonna get. And I was just about to ask, can the blue team do more damage than what they suffered at the top? And the answer is no, and instead they're losing 2 heroes in the process too. Feel the Heat looking very, very good in the early game.
Yeah, great punishment there. Really able to capitalize on that, even when they were under the Punisher. But they clean up the Punisher, they lose some towers, but they pick up 2 kills. The top lane push was already successful. They steal the mercenary camp. Ultralisk has Hover Siege now. Here comes Kerrigan, though, for a counter kill. Wit has stayed too long doesn't have Iron Skin anymore and is forced to disengage. Guy now misses the Singularity Spike, forced to blink away. Zray with very low health, one combo for Kerrigan, but under towers decides against it.
Yeah, so they get the counter kill, but it was actually a smart play around the objective. The way that this happened is that Zeratul stayed topside, take the opponent's shaman camp down. That allowed the camp that they had to take the wall apart. And in the middle, they were still able to keep everything safe except the wall. So they traded even in structures, but got the 2 additional kills. So losing the objective didn't really make a difference for them. But it's a cool start into the game from both teams. Good aggression, good counter kill measures now. Level 7 talents in for both, which also gives us the Seeker in the dark. The mobility on Zeratul is gonna be increased a lot. But with the level 1 choice, we already know what 16 is going to be. So we have this cleave variation that I've been talking about in one of the previous games, where Tai was playing Zeratul. So a bit of a different setup here on the talent side from Dino.
Now moving in. This is more of a single target build, as you said, a little bit variation. He doesn't like the Nerazim. Is it going to help him get out, though? Because he is in the cocoon. Quick blink, double blink, done.
Yep, gets out. Easy peasy. Blade, then again, should be fine. Oh, the Entomb comes in after all. They're trying to go for him, and that is, well, Sonya down. Alright, the Nexus Eminem eliminated.
Going to be cleaning that up. Also, nice meme from 2015. Gonna clean.
I'm keeping it alive. I'm keeping it alive. And to everybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, check out the portrait of Sonya and tell me that is not Eminem with an orange wig. Never seen it before? You can thank me later. I can't unsee it now.
Dino's going to clean up the lane. Make sure that Feel the Heat still have some control over the map. They're starting to fall a little bit behind in XP, but we've already seen it's only going to take 1 capitalization on any mistake of Washed Up for them to reclaim the lead. And if they do, then of course, they might be running into the finals before Washed Up can even take a map.
Exactly. What Washed Up has, of course, momentum with the CC that they can build up, and it might happen. So, bot lane, that's where we are going. Well, actually, they go for Zeratul, but the rotation is there quickly enough, and they should be able to save him. So that's a cooldown that they won't be able to use during the fight. But instead, Jojo is getting eliminated. The quick stun against Blade as he goes in a little bit too deep, and Weaven with a great BFG, the second kill against Sonya. Even X-Ray coming in with a big boring story to put them to sleep. Didn't change that, and now a third hero falls. Wow. Washed Up has just taken a massive dump on Feel the Heat.
Sonya was popped like a balloon, and Kerrigan able to capitalize, able to dive forward once those siege tactics are up. There is no escaping someone like Kerrigan or an Uberak. In this case, Hammer is down, will not be available for the objective. They're going to go for the double play here. Kerrigan doing what she does best, soloing this objective, while the rest of the team runs it into bot lane to open up the tier 2s for this Punisher.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. Of course, the Beatles, when you're not attacked by anybody, are still serving the former purpose. They soak up a lot of the tower shots. I like that Dino at the top is doing as much as he can to be aggressive here. Then again, there is an Entomb coming up, and he might actually fall. He needs that cooldown, he needs it quickly, but Quasar doesn't want to follow him into the range of the fort anyways. Down here on the other hand, let's be honest, this is going to hurt.
Yeah, good knockback by Hammer to try and buy some time for Blade, but pulled in Kerrigan, BFG, and Blade is going to live. The potions from X-Ray keeps him alive, and that last order from Greymane didn't come in. Johanna, Iron Skin, Potion 1, Potion 2, but no Iron Skin for the sustain anymore. Gets absolutely locked down and be finished off by Kerrigan. They keep pushing. Asu was taking tower aggro, will have to back up.
They should have just waited behind the keep, well, or fallen back a little bit sooner and then really baited over, but now they're losing way more than they should. It's 6 kills against 2. There's the Entomb. They're trying to take Blade down, and he still survives. Zeratul is looking to see if he can maybe get a kill somehow. But, no, not so far. Blinks away from the stun. Bot keep is fine. But, oh boy, did that escalate quickly here.
Yeah, X-Ray stopped that turning into a keep play with the incredible potions onto Sonya, followed by the good sleep to also save Sonya. X-Ray is really carrying these the hopes of Feel the Heat in this game right now. Is looking very, very good in this Deckard Cain.
Zeratul still with the rotation, has been able to put a lot of pressure onto the top 4, but of course it hasn't been destroyed yet, so catapults are not spawning yet either. The rotations from Ops, I mean, he will go straight up for the bottom camp and takes that. In the meantime, his own team has taken the one in the middle, and now there's an attempted defense at the mid lane. It's mostly an experience disadvantage that Field the Heat has. Yes, they suffered some structural losses too, but it's not that bad yet. The lack of a 16 talent, though, that's a big problem, considering that the blue team is going to pick that up in a second.
However, Masquerade is a little bit far forward here. He's trying to capitalize, but instead is being forced to back up. Dino does some good damage, but there is those 16s. That's going to force the disengage. They had a short window to try and capitalize on that overextension, unable to do so.
Epic enter again for Nugarak. Here they go for Ultralisk, and it's hammer time. Hammer got hammered, and they go for Jojo. They're actually diving into the fort now too. They don't care.
Go to sleep. Ultralisk tanking this down. Kerrigan's going to take the aggro, though. Not looking good. He's going to drop the Chrysalis, which will reset the aggro here, as Nick going to be able to flee. But here's Blade from the other side. Whirlwind to try and finish off Nick, who has the anti-heal, and they pick up the kill.
They get the kill, and they're looking for more. They need more. They need to get as much as they possibly can. They don't have the level 16, but they have the momentum now. Dino's moving in with the rest of the team as they're looking to get another drop on X-Ray, and this guy is not going to make it out. X-Ray eliminated, the turnaround of Washed Up in that fight happening. They get the counter kill after Kerrigan has fallen. 8 kills against 3 now. But half a level until level 16 for the red team, so that's going to allow them to fight for an objective at least.
2-1 in that last fight. And Washed Up continue to extend their lead. Hammer is now back, though, cleaning out the lanes. Next objective will be coming up shortly. And this will be the last chance to really fight for a while, as this is the last chance they might be on even talent tiers. As level 17 already burning through for Washed Up. They're going to just try and wait and race this to level 20. So we're going to want to see, with level 16 now available, Feel the Heat will try and contest.
Yeah, we have Giant Killer. Giant Killer on Sergeant Hammer is always a bit of a game changer. You look towards Zeratul and you have your completion of the Cleave build. So there are some very powerful talents coming now in. Scroll of the Stone Curse has been taken, we got the Fanaticism, and more survivability for Sonya should be in play too any second. So that is actually a decent setup in terms of like talent versus talent. Actually, Sonya going into Rampage. Okay.
Ooh. Full damage. They really want to pick up these kills here. Moving forward.
They're gonna try now. They're already attempting to set it up. Zeratul is moving into the back, trying to get the damage in. Yes, goes for Nick, and Ultralisk has to drop their damage now with these auto attacks. Kerrigan with the Chrysalis, he gets burnt down, but Johanna is dead and Blade follows. Their quick double kill as Deckard Cain got cocooned. Zeratul is trying to make the plays, but in the meantime, the triple kill has become a reality. Ultralisk is the only survivor over here. Zeratul rushed towards the left, trying to hide, and there's no way that Sergeant Hammer is going to take this on her own.
A solid position to start, but completely shut down by Washed Up with the incredible Twilight Dream from Banana Rage. It massively shut down all the front line and prevented that big burst. They were trying to get rid of Kerrigan early in that fight, but with that Chrysalis followed by the Twilight Dream, complete shutdown, and Washed Up now going to be crushing through not only this mid lane with the Punisher, they are looking for pressure in the bot lane, and maybe this Zeratul, however, might the Nerazim 2 blinks, going to try and flee out here. He doesn't have Wormhole, so he can't juke, but he's already managed to lose him.
I was just about to say, they shouldn't really waste too much time on him, because that doesn't help them. Pushing with the objective, that's a very different story. So if they can at least make that happen, they have a realistic chance to take or at least damage a keep. And that's exactly where they're headed right now, to make that play.
They move behind the gates, keeping it safe, cleaning out the Punisher very quickly. They've used Blessed Shield. They don't really have any hard engage tools. Even though they would love to fight now pre-level 20, they're just going to have to wait it out. They now have to wait 2.5 levels before they can really take another fight, and that is very bad news.
Yeah, there's a huge time period where they have to stay more or less inactive on the map, trying to wait for the lanes to push against them so that they get the safe experience, where they don't have to venture out on the map where they could get potentially ganked, especially since setting up a gank with the setup that Washed Up has is so easy for them. Just a simple cocoon is going to ruin your day if you're a little bit too far out, since the rest of the team can move in. But Washed Up is not even giving them that time. They are not even thinking about that. for one moment they're moving in with a Storm Talon, trying to turn that keep to rubble.
Blade trying to hold. They have no minions. There's finally some are arriving. There's the 2 buried alive. See ya, Johanna, but the sleep is good. They might be able to turn it with Zeratul getting the full turnaround, but he is silenced by the Twilight Dream. Nick, no pulling for the stun. It's a 2 for nothing as that keep is gonna get snowballed down.
Sonya down, the keep attacked, and this is looking grim. Very grim for the red team. Feel the heat is definitely feeling the heat. The keep is eliminated. They're still 2 levels ahead. Blue team, that is. And the next one is going to spawn topside, so far away from the bottom. They're even focusing their attention now into the middle, where the wall has previously also fallen. There's a big wave coming through with the catapult boot, and Kerrigan is on her way back into the fight after initially moving or hardstoning back to the Nexus.
Like you said, a level and a half left until they can even have their own Storm tier talents. The speed that Leoric and Greymane combined can blow up a Johanna when she's caught in that buried alive. There is almost nothing they can do. Deca doesn't have that kind of immediate reaction healing that you require to deal with that kind of hard engage.
Yeah, now they're rotating again. They just take the camps, they're stealing away whatever is possible. And they can always retry in the middle. Again, they have a 2-level lead. This entire level until their Storm Talents are in for the red team. And until that's the case, we're going to see a beating after another. It's going to be incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to really face them in a fight. So the red team has to hug the structures now and capitalize on the newly changed strength of those towers and forts.
Shots coming in. Ultralisk, as much damage as he can. He burns siege tactics, so has to back up. Cannot afford to fight this. Zeratul is not here for this defense, but it doesn't look like we're going to see anything hyper-aggressive this time from the side of Washed Up, which gave Zeratul a little bit more time to clean out bot lane, prevent catapults onto the core. But with the objective up and mid and top lane completely open, bot lane still pressured, Washed Up, this might not be an end game scenario unless they pick up some kills, but it might absolutely be another keep, which is just going to put even more pressure on the core of Feel the Heat.
They are going to fight for it. They nearly have the experience. Zeratul is going to take it now. They have 20. So the catapult is moving in, but they have everything they need to take the fight, and they know that this is pretty much their last chance. The rotation is coming, and Dino has to be very careful that he doesn't fall into the trap. But he has vision, he pings it already, and they are starting to engage at the top. But the lead is there. Cocoon has been used, though. So Cocoon is out. They can't Cocoon the support anymore.
They move forward. Going to try and take this. Dequaza forced to back up. Ominous Wraith was used, but Sonya will heal up with Whirlwind. Everyone is full. Level 20s, all available. Respect your elders might be the game changer here. That multi-team silence could be exactly what they need. Dino looking for the right angle. He wants Banana Rage or he wants Hasselhoffs. There's the Tube, but this time they're tanking through it. They get Kerrigan. Finally, here comes the Twilight Room with Astral Communion though. And that's going to allow Anubrak to back up with that silence, but they're being forced back by Johanna. But finally, 2 for nothing. We see Washed Up. They capitalize and they race that objective.
Double kill against the blue team, and that might just be the ticket back into the game for Feel the Heat as they get the Punisher down here. The camp is still pushing, so someone needs to fall back and deal with it, and that seems to be Sonya's job as she's starting to make the journey. But up towards the top, that's going to be a fort destroyed with ease, and then the potential follow-up against the keep. Greymane, on the other hand, was moving down to the bottom for just a second, thinking about maybe pushing this in with the catapults. Sonya not dealing with it, by the way. The rest of the team moves in the middle now. They have abandoned the idea of taking the keep down, and instead they're focusing their sights on the forts. Sonya makes the rotation now and starts to go for it. And I actually think this is really important that they make that move, because let's be honest, if Sonya joins the team and they're trying to get forts or something else, those catapults 19 minutes in are very likely to do some damage to the core, and they want to avoid that at all costs. So instead, they take 2 forts with this push, and they're trying to focus onto the fight down here, where Zeratul and his boys are actually going to sniff out that little trap attempt by Washed Up.
We're now in a little bit of a rough position. Iron Skin being used. We'll be able to back out. Everyone is here, even talents, but the camp is just taken, and they're just going to back it up. Washed Up going to be able to capitalize, Feel the Heat. They're still playing safe.
Damage output, Sergeant Hammer, 67,000. Grey main, 55k. There's the buried alive. What a setup over the wall. Holy shit. Quasar, show some mercy. What the hell? Dino is on the run, zips out with a double blink, but the old man is not so nimble on his feet, trying to save himself here with a quick scroll. There's the sleeper setup. Stay a while and let me get out of here.
That's buying them time, but they're probably might lose a keep for this. It's 5v4. No Sonya. Dino still here. He still has Might and Nerazim. Very low cooldown here will help him out, but every other heroic has been used. Cursed Bullet available on the other side, and it's only 8 seconds until buried alive again. They can't afford to take another fight.
What an insane game. Honestly, after Washed Up took the momentum, I didn't really believe that Feel the Heat would be able to come back into it. But they did a fantastic job around it and are now in a position where they're still behind in structures, but they have all of a sudden just gotten a position where they might just be able to fight back. They won the big team fight top. If they win another one, they have a realistic chance of actually getting enough momentum to finish the game.
They can do this. All they have to do is hold. Sonya's doing a fantastic job clearing bot lane. Zeratul's been putting a bit of pressure on it too. They still have a chance. This Fallen Shaman camp's not going to get too much value here. They have minions, and well, it's Sergeant Hammer. She kind of just wrecks mercenary camps if she has some minions in front of her, and that's exactly what we'll see here. And with that, every heroic is back, and both teams are ready to fight again. But for now, it's all about wave clear duty. We will see Feel the Heat playing it safe. They know their base is the vulnerable one. They can't afford to let bot lane go unattended. They can't afford to let the person clearing bot lane be left unattended either, because they will be picked.
And it will be really interesting in the next fight, because one of the advantages that they had in the top fight was that Cocoon was already out. And the entire tier of the red team has to fight around Cocoon, and let's not forget Twilight Dream and Buried Alive. For Zeratul, those are incredibly dangerous talents. Quasar over here gets sniffed out. Not that he can do anything since the rest of the team wasn't there, but he's trying to ghost in. I don't really think we're going to see an ult dropped yet. But the Shrine is about to activate. And topside camp is now pushing. So this is I mean, either you pull it off and you win the fight, or you're going to get toasted because your top keep is very likely to fall if you're taking the battle down here over the Shrine.
This isn't a good lane for him either. There's still a fort in the way. Even if they win this, they would have to push in, just dive a keep to take a fight. Scroll of Stone Curse doesn't hit any heroes, no extra damage here. Blind was out, but it's already expired. Wit not going to be able to block here. Playing a safe Deckard, spamming potions, but he wasn't able to set up in advance here. Blade taking quite a bit of damage. There's the Buried Alive, but there's no follow-up this time. Finally, we see the Ultras come in, but Blade stays alive. It's gonna be Leoric the first to fall. In comes Zeratul. He's already able to toss the Twilight Dream. He gets out. Wit and Blade are solo. Stay a while and listen will buy them the time they need as they're gonna try and turn this round. Anubarak's the target, and they will get him. Zeratul might have just saved his team this game.
How the hell did Kerrigan get out of there? Absolutely insane. It looked like she would die. Had to use the level 20 to survive, but at the same time, their keep at the top is now about to fall. Maybe we want to be saved. Wit is moving in, trying to do his best, but he's like, okay, this is over. I have to save the core instead. So a little bit of damage is done, but he turns the catapults to dust. Topside keep is actually still in play. He might be able to hold it if he rotates. Like, what the hell?
He blinds, he blocks, he clears. The catapult's not aggro. He's gonna save that keep.
No!
Or not. No! No! Wit, minions, go! Get it! 1v1!
Okay, they need him. They need him down here, and the minion wave is gonna take it for now. Kerrigan dead! The play! Dino, the kill against Leo! Oh my god, don't tell me they actually did it! Johanna isn't even here yet. They go through the keep, 3 heroes down, and Nubarak is still dead. Tencho, what's going on here?
They're able to push through, and Noob not being available. He cocoons Deckard. The one last chance. Here come the frozen stuff. We see a big lockdown into play, but he's dropped the armor. Stay a while. Hits no one basically. Hasu is burning through this Punisher, but we can see great sustain from Wit. The core down to 50%. We see Hammer is completely uncontested, and Feel the Heat take the 2-0 and move on to the finals.
Unbelievable. Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.